Hello YouTube! Welcome to the shop. So I've been experimenting on building a lathe duplicator for my Powermatic, and I've been having a few problems with it. I've come up with a couple designs, so the video's gotten a little mashed up with the different designs that I've had, but you guys will get the gist of it. I went ahead and milled up these pieces, and the next step is to start drilling these holes for the bearings. And surprisingly, on my test piece, I actually got it all four aligned and all four touching the first try. So I'm going to try to do that again with all of these. The next step is to trim this side, get off all the glue, and then I can start drilling holes and tapping them. So I have everything mocked up. These are going to get doweled in place, and this moves fairly good. Out of all 8 bearings, I only have one that is not touching, and I don't know if it's enough to worry about it because there's pretty much no play, but granted, I also have a clamp in this. I'm hoping to drill these holes as they are now, put dowels in them and glue it and reassemble it, and hoping that the dowels will be enough of alignment to get these back into place. The first carriage unit is glued up, and it works. It's a little bit tight, and it's not quite loose enough yet, but I think with wear that'll be better, and once I start sanding and make these a little bit smaller, I think that'll really help to get this thing smooth, but there's absolutely no play, which is nice. I did notice whenever I was running it that the carriage unit would wobble a little bit side to side as it's running down this, and I think that might be because of some of the bumps that are in these guides. Let's set up the other axis. The Y and the Z axis will get mounted to the same mounting plate. and drilling the dowels for the last axis, and I just got it mocked up, and let's start drilling. These glue joints have had overnight to dry and cure, so now let's bolt it on. Well, I have one axis mounted. I don't have any clearance issues with the slide. The next step is to mount the Y-axis on the back here, and that's going to be using the same techniques. Well, I've gotten everything mounted, and I have a few problems that are kind of bugging me. And it runs left to right just fine and in and out just fine, but it won't go up. You can see whenever I have this one arm extended all the way that it won't go up, but if I move it in, I can raise it just fine. So I'm going to come up with a set of pivots, and it's going to work off a pivot like this. This is going to go up and down, and then this arm I'm going to saw off, and this arm will be able to pivot back and forth. So essentially, you can get whatever motion you wanted to out of this. the mount for the router, I would like it to pivot left to right and rotate up and down. That way I can get various angles for, different things. To have it be able to go sideways, I could use for end turnings. And to be able to get it to go straight out would be for duplicating spindles. So this was my original intention for this router, was to have a clamping mechanism on either side and then have a board that would connect all four of these together. But I was looking at it, it just seems way too bulky. So what I think I'm going to do is, instead of have the board on this side, I'm going to shrink these down, have the board on this side with a hose clamp that'll wrap around everything and tighten everything up. That'll reduce my width whenever this thing's mounted on the duplicator like this. So this is what I have so far, and everything can go up and down and moves, and it feels fairly rigid. I'm thinking about mounting the handle on the back side here. It'll just be like a turned shaft or something you can move back and forth. So I've gotten the handle mounted, and there are 2 bearings that are inset with a bolt, and then it's just threaded right into the one beam. So I'm running into a couple problems with this design too. If you can lift it and raise and lower it just fine, but going left and right, there's a little bit of sideways slop, and whenever you try to route with it, whenever this arm is this long, any little bit of play that's in these bearings over this distance is magnified quite drastically. So there's actually quite a bit of deflection at this point where the router sits, which I'm not too happy with. This was some experiments about learning about duplicators, and I've learned quite a bit with it. I've gotten a couple other ideas, but I'm a little hesitant now to build them. I don't quite have the time now that the semester has since started. Well, if you guys have any ideas, I ask that you would comment below. I want to thank you guys for watching. Sorry, it's kind of a long video. I'm going to ask you to please subscribe. I've got other videos, woodworking related, drum sanders, the restoration on this Powermatic, other machinery. So I'm going to ask you to please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and please be sure to check the links in the description for other videos, playlists, and my channel. And we'll see you next time.